Right now, you all can get the best fighting game mobile. Right now, right on your hand and playable everywhere. It's an online fighting game or even the offline one. The developer is making great progress for this game genre. The combat mechanism is getting better with a cool graphic visual. Please like this video, thanks. Top 12 Best Fighting Games Android and iOS. Best Combat Fighting Game on mobile, online, offline. You can support this channel and send us a special thanks. Sinak Fighting Game. This game is the newest fighting game on Android iOS, and the developer is still on updating the game and available on Play Store for sure. Sinak Fighting Game is a 1 vs 1 fighting game that has a classical mythology of Philippines heroes. The gameplay has been revealed by the developer, and I really love to see how fast the combat is, and we also can do a combo attack on air and keep hitting the enemy even before they land on the ground. Such a satisfying combat fight anyway. Make sure to focus on the arena battle background because it will show you the beauty of the Philippines atmosphere and the culture atmosphere. Right now, the developer has been confirmed about Sinak Fighting Game and will have each character selection as well as the background stages. The one thing that gets my attention is the heavy combo mechanisms, which is it will become easy to learn but need a high effort to master. You can enjoy this best fight game by controller or touch button. Samurai Showdown. Probably this is the best new fighting game Android iOS with perfect gameplay and super smooth action combat. Even though the game size is pretty big, it makes sense because of Samurai Showdown has a complete features mode like story mode, practice mode, online battle mode, and free offline battle fighting mode. So, we can freely pick various characters as well as the enemy, and it has so much background stage arena you can play with a high definition visual. The combat battle of Samurai Showdown is pretty solid. We can run, block attack, and even do a parry of the enemy's forces and prevent his basic attack. When your skill gauge bar recharges into a limit, then you can unleash a powerful slash. Overall, I would like to rate a high score because of how great the graphics are, but please note you need a mid-spec phone to run this game smoothly. Ultimate Fighting. Such a great action combat game fighting and iOS. You all must try because this best fighting game is playable on low-end devices and has super small size just under 1GB, which is 384 MB. This game needs an internet connection to play, and also each time you finish the battle, then you can double the rewards by watching the ads. Sometimes the ads will appear every time you finish the stage, but in a short time, so I think it's fine for me. The gameplay Ultimate Fighting is we can rank up the hero to learn a new skill. The skill will be available to use when your gauge bar has enough energy. We can make a different combo and we can see what we click just under the screen to make us faster learning the combo. The control is pretty responsive too. And overall, the enemy is quite fair for a free player. You can upgrade the power and hold point by using in-gold game. The best fighting games for Android iOS. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Game Dragon Ball FighterZ Tap Battle. Seriously, if you are a fan of anime games, then this is the best Dragon Ball games on mobile that you can really need to play now. In fact, you can play these best fighting games DBZ offline at all. Most of the game has provided an English version, especially when you do an adventure mode. You will start with a short tutorial, but I think you should follow it because this best Dragon Ball fighting game has so many combat mechanisms like build up the energy, combo, attack rush, and compete our skill by clicking the button faster. There are hidden characters you can unlock through the story mode, but never underestimate it. Even if you play against the AI, but his combat skill is very good and playing aggressively, so make sure you keep your energy to cast your skill frequently. The best Dragon Ball mobile game for Android. High School Girl Anime Fighter. The game size is just less than 100 MB. All of devices should be okay to play this game smoothly. This fighting game has a cool anime theme All of the heroes are wearing a school uniform and most of the battle background is on the school area, which are pool area, yard, and baseball area. When you start on selecting the heroes, then try to focus on the right side to know the character's combo skill. The more combo skill you know, the more master you will be. It's pretty easy on the recharging the gauge limit because it will automatically recharge 100 when you hit the enemy or get hit by the enemy. The number of ads shown is pretty much, so make sure you click the cross X to skip it and start continuing your adventures. Best game fighting for Android iOS. FighterZ. This is the best high-graphic fighting game Android iOS and made by the first Indian game developer, which has a high potential in the fighting game industry. The name is pretty simple, which is FighterZ. The gameplay is we will play without any button. We only need to swipe the screen and it will do a different action. When you succeed landing a hit to the enemy, your gauge bar will be filled up little by little and unleash your special skill that will dealing a higher damage. This fighting game has exactly Indian experience from the character's name, character design, and character's voiceover. I really love that we finally have a different game vibes of arena. It reminds me of an Indian architecture and has a high attention to detail on each object around us. Before we start the fighting, we just need to focus on HP and strength and compare with the enemies. The best fighting game on Android iOS. Final Fighter fighting game. This fighting game has the next level of control. It's pretty responsive and has smooth action movement. I really love this game. It has a slow motion effect when we can get away from the enemy's attack. The ultimate skill will be available when your gauge bar is enough to recharge. We can do a team fight between 3 versus 3 players, but each character will fight by turn when one of our characters is defeated. I really love the estimate time when we do a team matchmaking is pretty short, only need 3 seconds to find an opponent. You also can play a story mode and play a single player to know the storyline. The best fighting games Android iOS with high graphic fighting game on mobile. FighterZ, one of the best fighting game with a Roblox visual. I really love we can make a combination action by doing a different directions pad control. It's very satisfying fighting game that playable offline. There is so many heroes we can select and adjust the level of difficulty. Just play it normal because the enemy has a very aggressive movement and high skill to be defeated. Try to make a counter attacks to prevent the enemy's skill and thus to get away from the enemy's basic attack. The ultimate skill only will be available when you have enough skill bars, and seriously, the skill will deal so much damage. Doing a combo in air is possible and giving a great combat experience that you have to try. Even though it's playable offline, but you can play it with your friends through Bluetooth controller mode between player versus player in offline mode. The best fighting game for Android iOS. The King of Fighter Arena. If you are a fan of fighting games, this game will make you happy to come into mobile. In fact, it has 1 million active players on many different platforms and now it has a high graphic visual on mobile. I really love this fighting game that has super fast action combat. There is so many skill showcase we can use just by tapping the button and it's getting easier rather than trying to find a different movement directions. We all just need to wait for the cooldown time to finish. This game doesn't have any difference between console level, from the combat battle, the game visual, and also the character selections. That's why it needs a high spec phone to run this game perfectly. If not, it will cause laggy then. But overall, I really appreciate the developer try making not pay-to-win fighting games on mobile with a console class. Modern fighting game. For an offline fighting game, this game has a high graphic, especially if we see the game size is pretty small at only 298 MB. But the combat mechanism is really simple. We cannot do much action actually. We only can do basic punch, basic kick and defense. There is no skill button or skill movement we can unleash. Honestly, it's all fine, but I'm concerned that the developer should add a running features like double tap the forward button to speed up the character movement, because it's quite slow when our character has a long distance to start a fighting. The best offline fighting game for Android iOS. Transformer is forced to fight. Transformer is forced to fight. So far, this is the best Transformer on mobile. It has so many cool robots we have ever seen in a movie. It has Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and many more. The combat battle is pretty fast even if you cannot get the alteration between robot or car. Seriously, the developers needs to lower the combat speed to let the player enjoy the combat mechanism and visual. The gameplay of Transformer Forced to Fight is we can swipe up and down to dodge and swipe backwards to make a space to shot the enemy by tapping the screen in a distance. The melee combat has a high damage dealing so far, especially the ultimate skill gauge can recharge pretty quickly. Overall, I really love to play this game. I don't even know why it has a low score on Play Store. I would love to know the reason for the comments below. Shadow Fight 4 Arena. Shadow Fight 4 Arena. I think everyone will agree with me if this game is top tier fighting game and the best fighting game on mobile. It has a top class battle combat, even though the gameplay is quite slow, but it makes the game look pretty realistic. I really love the attention to detail on every movement and look at how the ragdoll physics is so unreal for a mobile game. Actually, I would compare this game with the console level. Seriously, the best no pay to win fighting game. Even you can beat the enemy with a common hero as long as you are good enough to play your role hero. Each hero has their own weakness and strength you really need to understand. We can easily get a new hero by completing the chapter. Upgrading your power just need in-game gold, which is really easy to obtain. The best fighting games on Android iOS that has a high score on Play Store, 4.6 stars, and has been downloaded by 10 million players. It was an insane achievement.